Hi, I'm Elise Goulding. I'm currently studying events management at Cardiff Metropolitan University. I'm partaking in my third and final year this year. Second year I averaged a first and I hope to do so in my overall degree.
What experience do you have with events?
In summer 2012 I actually did something a bit different and went to Nicaragua with my local charity called the Peace and Hope Trust. We did events with the local community out there.
What kind of roles did you have?
Basically we did a lot of doing local community events such as parties with the children, or just trying to give them that something a bit different, since Nicaragua is the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, so I was completely unaccustomed to the whole situation. So for me it was a huge learning curve, and so much about the industry from a completely different perspective, from it being not as much technology, or it didn't have any of these kind of resources that we have in the UK. So we were doing things like bringing in minimalistic, as in making music with just normal kitchen utensils such as pots and pans, which the kids absolutely loved.
What were the language barriers like?
The language barriers were obviously a huge thing that when you're first accustomed with, it's just like overwhelming. But once you realise your way around it, for me communication is such a hugely significant transferable skill to have, especially regarding the events industry. And the way around it was obviously doing non-verbal. So especially with the younger children who couldn't speak any English, it was a lot of gestures and nodding and smiling, and by the end of it I was actually communicating even verbally with them, because you'd pick up the language as we went along. It's all about, well, motivation and determination really, to put yourself in that situation and really try and get involved in the learning.
What did you gain from your experience in Nicaragua?
Well, when I came back I actually wrote a reflective report as part of my university degree. However, to be honest, I would recommend doing that. I would do it every time I did anything like it, because learning about not just professionally but personally as well, how I developed, looking back on the report, actually seeing it on paper was hugely beneficial, and I would do it every time.
So you also worked in catering this summer?
Yeah, I worked for Stephen Freeman Catering, called SFC Group, throughout the summer. Basically I was getting up at 3 AM after camping overnights at events around the country, opening up the units, having to clean and sort out ready to serve customers by 5 AM. So customer service came in as a huge skill to have, which I actually also previously have just done a course on, a World Host Customer Service course, so that linked in really well.
I imagine that's slightly different to Hamleys.
Yeah, I worked as an events assistant at Hamleys in Cardiff when it opened last November. Basically it was doing a completely different kind of role with, it was a lot more children orientated events, so arranging the birthday parties in store, as well as doing things with local stores around Cardiff to get the Hamleys name out, also through the marketing. But the events so I was learning about back in the office doing the paperwork, as well as hands-on managing and helping to run the children's parties.
What do you want to do after university?
Well, having studied events management for what will be 3 years, I feel I've got a good ground on the academic side, and I think I'm ready to get out on the practical side of the industry and really get stuck in.